Welcome back, folks. I'm Kenjamin, and today we're doing something completely unorthodox. We're doing a mono team run of Coromon, and we're doing it with water types. I don't know what possessed me to want to do this, but we're doing it. So of course, we're going to choose my favorite Coromon, Nibelgar, as our starter. And, you know, I wanted to nickname it, but then I just couldn't come up with a nickname like then and there in the moment. So we'll go ahead and just nickname him sometime later. I don't know what it is. But for this challenge, we're not going to be doing anything crazy like a Nuzlocke, you know, you can only use a Coromon one time and then it's dead and then you got to release it, or you can't use any items or anything wild like that. Because we're going to learn very quickly that we kind of have to use items sometimes just so it's not like super tedious. And this is actually a very grindy game, believe it or not. So after we go through all of the introduction of, you know, being a Lux researcher now, you know, we come here and Larry gives us the stink module, which of course lets us fart out of our arm and repel wild Coromon. I think that's all I've ever wanted as a researcher, just to be able to fart from my arm. Amazing. And, you know, we are actually stuck with Nibelgar for a while. But eventually we get to Hayville and we get to take on, yeah, what he said. But yeah, Nibelgar is going to be our only Coromon for a while until we get to just right before Donor Island. And then we're going to be stuck with just those two for a while. You're actually going to come to find there aren't that many water types in this game. But I mean, I'm okay with that. We are going to be able to get a full team, but Nibelgar's basically going to be going solo for a while, and all these Beezles are just going to give Nibelgar extra experience. And I keep forgetting to nickname Nibelgar. I think I was trying to come up with some sort of like theme, since, you know, we're going to have a full team of Coromon, so I got to be able to come up with something for all of them. And then we come here and we talk to, I think his name is Marin? Oh, Perrin. Okay, Marin is his cousin. Perrin takes our gauntlet and gives us a loner. And you know what? I'm looking at his dishes now, and his dishes actually look really piled up. I don't think you should just leave your dishes out like that. I think you should put them in that shelf that you have like right next to your dishes. Oh, that's a cute teddy bear. Oh wow, yeah, he has fruits in his dishes. That's how you know it's not as clean as it should be. Anyways, so we go ahead and talk to Perrin's cousin Marin, and Marin gives us some books to read. Little does Marin know, I've actually played the Coromon demo like over a dozen times already, and I already understand everything that he's trying to tell me with these books. But if you haven't read these, you should probably read these. Especially if you're new to Coromon. But if you're not, you know, you don't have to. That's okay. Reading is for scrubs. Wait, scrubs are closed, right? I don't know. Anyways, so we get these books and then we go ahead and go to Perrin now. Oh, hey, look at Beezle. Yeah, we go back to Perrin so that way we can get our module back and we can give him back this module. I mean, gauntlet, sorry. Oh, this gauntlet is kind of stinky. I should probably wash it before giving it back to him. Oh, never mind, he took it. And we got the push module, yay. So now we can push a lot of people out of the way so we can get to Donor Island a lot sooner. Oh yeah, and Nibelgar actually evolved right here. And I still forgot to nickname him for some odd reason. I don't know why I haven't nicknamed him yet. But yeah, we got a sheer tooth, yay. And so we move on. I kind of just skipped through all of that in there. And, you know, we found a Fiddly. It's kind of funny because, you know, I always go on about how much I don't like Fiddly. But Fiddly is actually like super duper powerful. And I'm not saying he should be nerfed, but I mean, if he's on my team, I don't care. I mean, I'll take one. Yeah, but eventually I name Sheer Tooth Shiro. And then I name Fiddly, oh my gosh, what did I name him? Naotsuku? Yeah, I named him Naotsuku. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I forgot what I nicknamed him. Yeah, but if you can find out what the theme here is for all of my Coromon's nicknames, you can just put that in the comment section. And if you do get the theme correct, I'll go ahead and I'll like and heart your comment. And yeah, that's how you'll know you're correct. So we get to Donor Island and we talk to Nicola? I'm just going to call you Nick. But Nick is telling us that one of his partners or his friend, I don't know, Thomas is stuck in Thunder's cave and we got to go save him. So yeah, we are given this worker helmet with a flashlight and some other items, and we just got to go save this guy in a cave. Oh yeah, if you come over here in the lab and you talk to this guy named Joseph, he gives you this side quest, and as he gives you this side quest, he also gives you this item called the Potential Reader. If you're a fan of Coromon, you already know what this is, but if you're new to Coromon, the Potential Reader basically tells you how valuable your Coromon are. I guess it's like a friendship reader if you're coming from Pokemon, but it's good to have, and you should check out my other videos if you don't know what potential is. But we eventually get through the Thunder's cave and we find Thomas trapped in a room, but the only way to release him is if we destroy that fuse box that's looking kind of funny there. It actually looks like a vending machine. Yeah, but Thomas gives us some stuff through the door, which is a little questionable. But yeah, we go ahead and fight this fuse box, and I'm showing the fight because it's a very unique one. Every time you attack the fuse box, its trait discharge will damage you. It's basically like recoil damage, like if you do damage to it, it will damage you. But the nice thing is the fuse box will leave you at 1 HP with its trait. But if you are at 1 HP and then you kill the fuse box will also take you down with it. Yeah, just make sure if you're doing like an insane or hard run of Coromon, make sure you don't get down to 1 HP and then kill the fuse box, because then you're gonna die too. And that's just a bad time. So then we bring Thomas back to the Buzzlet lab, and then we find these weird looking like blue people. I think they're like genies from Aladdin, except they've already been rubbed out of the lamp, so they're not going to grant our wishes. They're going to grant somebody else's wishes. I don't know. But Thomas tries standing up to them, and they get kind of angry, and they start speaking in tongues. And if you don't understand what they're saying, you should probably just grab a mirror. Yeah, but this guy with the hair right here, or I shouldn't even say guy, this alien, or this genie, decides to send Thomas to the Shadow Realm. And I'm like, bro, what happened? Where's Thomas? And all of the genies are like, no, bro. Like, he's safe and sound. And then they leave, and I try to chase them, but that doesn't work. So I go back into the lab, and I tell Nick that his buddy has just been abducted by these weird-looking genies. But before I can even do that, I gotta take out this like weird looking infected Lumon. And I mean, like, none of us know what's going on with this Lumon. Like, he's kind of just looking a little funny. Yeah, but none of my attacks are actually very effective against this thing, which is kind of sad. But I was able to land a critical hit there with my Fury Pincer. Oh wow, that actually went down a lot easier than I thought it did. Yeah, but we're gonna learn that Lumon was actually a different type compared to what's actually accessible to us. It's the dark type, but we don't find that out till later. Haha, spoiler. Oh yeah, I should probably have put a spoiler alert at the beginning of the video. Oh well, if you made it this far, I mean, I think you already know what's going to happen, but if you don't know what's going to happen next, I suggest you click out of this video. I mean, you made it this far. Just keep watching. Yeah, so we told Nick, I'm not going to call him Nicola. So we told Nick that Thomas has been abducted, and Nick is just going to tell us, oh, you know, just go into the power tower. That's where the first Titan is, Voltgar. So I decided to skip like the first 3 floors of the power tower because they aren't anything like super significant. And I remember this puzzle kind of giving people a lot of trouble back in the demo. So if you're a newcomer to Coromon, this is probably a very good, like, weird little guide for you. Basically, you're given a bunch of fuses from this guy, Mr. Mind. And this chart right here at the bottom is going to be your guide. You know, you have a green check mark, you have the orange arrows, and the red X. So the first thing I recommend you do is place 2 fuses, 2 colors. I place the green and the red, and the orange tells us we have the correct colors, but they're in the wrong spots. So I know that we can keep the green and the red. I'm just going to position them differently, and I added the blue just because I wanted to speed things up a little bit. So now I have 1 check mark and 2 arrows. So that means that 1 color is correct and in the right position. And I have 2 colors that are correct but not in the right position. So I switched the green and the red around, and now it's telling me that none of these colors are in the right position, but they are the correct colors. So I switched the green back to where it was, and in the place of the blue, I placed the red, and then I placed the blue between the green and the red. So it seems like all 3 of them were correct, and all I have to do now is add 1 more fuse. It's either the orange or the yellow. I have no idea which one it is, so I'm just guessing. And it's the orange. Yay, we got all 4 of them. That actually went a lot better than I thought it did. If you struggle with this, just do 2 at a time and then gradually add 1 more. I added 1 sooner than I should have, but that's just because I know the mechanics of this puzzle already. Oh yeah, and as we're climbing the tower, Natsugu finally evolves into an even bigger monster. Look at that monster. Its claws are insane and has 6 legs, I think. Anyways, we finally get up to Voltgar, and it's kind of funny because now I'm trying to remember what it's like encountering Voltgar when it's the Swarmy mode. And Voltgar doesn't look too menacing when it's a Swarmy, but then again, Swarmies are the strongest Coromon in the game. So Voltgar comes out, and Voltgar's like, hey bro, you want some of this? And so he tries to tase me, but I'm like, no bro, tase my Coromon instead. So I send out Natsugu first so that I can have the humidifier trait go off, and then, you know, the rain comes down, and we go ahead and we scratch him, and that actually did a lot more than I thought it would. Yeah, I think Voltgar needs a back scratch. I don't think it can scratch with those square fingers of his. Oh yeah, Voltgar is doing so much damage to us. So I know I said we wouldn't use like too many items during this run, but we're gonna have to use an item during this run. I mean, we already used a canola fruit. Granted, it was a held item. Oh yeah. The Titans will activate their pure essence once they reach an HP threshold. For Voltgar, it was 50%, and so it activates this field that makes us consume twice as much SP, and then it'll also cure its own status ailments. And then I send out Shiro to basically get demolished by this giant Titan of electricity and metal, and I try to give Shiro a chance to go up against Voltgar, but it does literally no damage to this thing. So I decide to use the Phoenix Stone to bring back Natsugu, because Natsugu's a bit of a monster. And I know what you're thinking. Come on, you're level 30. Why can't you take out a level 25 Titan? This thing has 400 HP. and like 6 different moves at its disposal. And I have 2 Coromon with a type disadvantage here. So, I don't think I'm beating this guy anytime soon without any items. Yeah, I'd probably have to be like level 50 just to take this guy out. But thankfully we leveled up and Shiro actually learns Crunch, surprisingly enough. I wish he learned Crunch before this fight. Anyways, so we take down Vodkar, and Vodkar's like, oh my gosh, you beat me. You still got a lot of growing to do. I'm like, yeah, bro, just give me your essence. And so he gives it to me. And then he tells me, oh yeah, you gotta go and beat up the rest of my siblings and take their essences. And I say, yeah, bro, let's go. Let's do it. So I make my way back to the Luxolis campus. And I go upstairs in the trainer hub. And apparently, I'm supposed to go into this room with a complete stranger that I don't even know. It's a little questionable. Like, I don't... I'm a little hesitant at first, but then my character just goes in and just listen to this. Ah, yeah, that's what that's for. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so we proceed into the soggy swamp, and an alarm goes off, and these kids come up to me, and they're like, you shall not pass. And I'm like, girl, I'm the Avatar. And she's like, oh, the Avatar, you're alive. I'm like, yeah, bro, I've been asleep for over 100 years. Let me through. And so these kids are like, here, take this nail clipper and go chop some shrooms. And since we're in the swamp now, we can go ahead and catch this frog. Fibio. Is that how you say it? Fibio? I think it's Fibio. Anyways, we catch him and then we name him Nyanta. I hope you figured out what the theme is so far. Anyways, as we're going through this swamp, Shiro evolves. Oh yeah, his name is Megalobot. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I basically got through the swamp, then I arrived in Pawberry, and the second Titan, Illusion, appears and tells me, oh hey, I need you to do some stuff for me. And then you can fight me. And so I find out that I'm still asleep, and these old people start beating me up to wake me up. And I'm like, yo, you don't gotta like touch my butt to wake me up, you know? But they're like, nah, we had to. Anyways, these old people tell me that there are some freaky things going on, because there's usually some really unusual things going on, but some things seem back to normal. Anyways, he gives us a gate key. And we go into this like cathedral. It's the monastery of illusion. Okay, so these old guys come out, and they're like, "What are you doing in here? You're not supposed to be here. You're kind of young. We're old. You don't belong here." But I'm like, "I'm the Avatar. I have magical poop." And they're like, "What? You shouldn't have that. How do you have that? No way." I'm like, "Yeah, bro. I have magical powers. I can poop magic. It smells like lavender." So they're like, okay, join us if you dare. And so we have to go into their basement now. Oh yeah, and then I completely forgot about this, but if you go here, I think you go left and then up, left, and then left, down, left, up, up, you can find the secret room of treasures. I think there's like a fruit and a scale flash in here, and like something else. I forgot what's in here, but it's really cool. I suggest you come here when you get the chance. Yeah, so as we're going through this dungeon, Nyanta actually evolves, and Nyanta is actually going to be like the MVP of this dungeon. He looks a little high now that I think about it. Anyways, our magical poop decides to like float away. it kind of like levitated away, like it was possessed or something. I don't know. It's magical poop. Anyways, we chased after it because, you know, that's my poop. And I activate this slab. I don't, like a rune or something. But anyways, all these cats around me, kind of suspicious. But I take this portal and it sends me to, I think it's called the Mesher realm. And I'm a cat now. Meow? Anyways, we go and we release all of the souls who were in the human world, I think. Or, I don't know. They were evil. But essentially, Illusion tells us, like, oh, hey, thanks for, like, taking care of all those souls. And now you can go ahead and fight me. But I'm going to grab this gold that someone left. And we walk this path that seems to disintegrate, like, right after we step on it. Which is kind of questionable. Like, why did they build a path that was just gonna break the moment you step on it? Like, how did the people who built it get out? Did they just, like, fall into the abyss? Or were they like Elsa? They were just, like, into the unknown? Anyways, so we fight Illusion. We find out Illusion's actually just made up of a bunch of tentacles. And, I guess it's like a ghost that presented, like, it possessed a squid or something. I don't know. But Nyanta really is going to be the MVP because it's the only one that was able to learn a ghost type skill through a skill flash. What we're going to do is we're going to reduce its defense with acid rain, and then we're going to use phantom spike. And, you know, Nyanta's actually doing a lot more damage than I thought it would. I think that was about maybe 25% of Illusion's HP. Yeah, so the nice thing about Nyanta is that I was able to get him to level 40 thanks to, you know, just decimating everything that got in its way. And I think everybody else on my team was like barely level 30 by this point. And I used Cloudburst here to basically just reduce Illusion's accuracy and try to survive as much as I could without having to use any items or switch out my Coromon. Because, you know, Cloudburst is a guaranteed accuracy reducing skill. But unfortunately, Illusion uses like its very OP skill called Hypnotize, and it'll make 2 of your Coromon fall asleep. It'll make your active Coromon fall asleep, and then 1 of your Coromon that's not active fall asleep. So I was hoping Nyanta would be able to wake up very quickly, like after being put to sleep, so that it can use Phantom Spike. Because if it did, it probably would have lived longer. So since Natsugu is still asleep, we're going to send out Shiro and see what Shiro can do. Hopefully Shiro can take out Illusion. Oh yeah, you know what? I completely forgot. Illusion has its Pure Essence activate when it's at 1 HP. So it'll restore 25%, or not 25, 50% of its HP. Yeah, that's great. So then with Shiro, I use Monsoon to summon water. That's right, because I'm the avatar, I can bend water. And then Illusion decides to use Hypnotize again, and I'm just like, bro, like my Coromon don't need to sleep that much. Like, I know I trained them like non-stop, but I mean, they can sleep when they're dead, you know? Like when they're fainted, like Nyanta. But I mean, can you not, Illusion? Can you not? Please? Shiro finally wakes up after like 2 turns of sleeping. A little longer than I would have liked. And so Illusion just takes down Shiro after it wakes up. And Shiro's like, dang, what a way to wake up. So I send out Natsugu. And I completely forgot that it can't summon rain when rain is already summoned, you know? And Natsugu, for some reason, is still asleep. I don't know why, but thankfully Illusion takes the time to restore its SP. I was really hoping Natsugu was going to be able to clean up what Nyanta was able to do. because Shiro actually didn't do very much, unfortunately. But Natsugu kind of was a bit of a letdown here. Oh wait. Oh no, yeah, he was a bit of a letdown. So we go ahead and we use another Phoenix Stone on Nyanta, because I mean, even if I wanted to fight Illusion again in a second attempt to try and beat it with just these 3 Coromon, I'm pretty sure I would have had to level up Natsugu and Shiro to also level 40 to match Nyanta. But yeah, I wasn't about to put in all that work again when I could just use a Phoenix Stone and a coffee cake, and then Nyanta can just finish what he started. So Nyanta also has the humidifier trait. I think I forgot to mention that. But thankfully I still have enough SP to take out Illusion. And it seems like it's going to be a 2-hit KO. Thankfully Soul Crush doesn't do very much to us. I thought it was actually going to do more. And it reduces our attack and special attack, but Illusion only has like 27 HP left. So, you know, we take it out with, is it Phantom Spike? Yeah, it's Phantom Spike. I don't know why I lost track of its name. Well, first of all, where does Nyanta activate Phantom Spike from? Because he doesn't have any spikes. It's a little questionable. Anyways, Illusion's like, oh yeah, you did great. Take my essence. Now you need to get out of here. You need to like make haste. Go and do something with yourself. And I'm like, okay, bye. So we leave Illusion alone and we come here into this weird little like house. It's like a random little house at the edge of the town. But Percy's in here, and Percy gives us the burn module. It's basically a flamethrower that we activate from our gauntlet. We're basically like Iron Man. If Iron Man had a flamethrower instead of laser beams. I don't know if that's the safest thing to give a child. I don't know. I'm not a researcher. I haven't been one for very long. Anyways, I take this shuttle or slingshot. It looks like a slingshot shuttle. It's a pod of some sort, but it brings us to the we're in a desert. We're in a desert. So we arrive to what looks like a is it a mob? I don't know. But this girl named Archie, she's outside trying to get through all of these guards, and these guards are like, no, you shall not pass. And so this guy named Alan. His name is Alan. Okay. So Alan comes out, and Alan's like, yeah, you can't come back here. And he starts speaking in tongues. And his guards are like, nah, you can't come here. So then we go through the main city entrance, and they charge 100 gold for anyone who wants to come through here, which is a little outrageous. I mean, it's more expensive than going to Disneyland, you know. But Archie is here, and Archie's like, hey, come over here. But, you know, be discreet, like a ninja. Don't let people know you're talking to me. So don't look at me. But Archie's like, yeah, follow me. So we discreetly follow Archie into this house, you know, discreetly. And we discreetly talk to Archie and this other woman discreetly. Oh, her name is Lena. And Archie's like, yo, something's going on in this town, and we got to figure out what's going on discreetly. So Archie's like, yeah, meet me over here. So then we go over here to where all of the guards are located, and Archie distracts this guard and for some reason doesn't see me. So then I go inside, and I'm supposed to like sneak past all these guards discreetly and like steal someone's clothes. Oh, hey, that's a teddy bear. That's pretty cute. So we get over here discreetly and we steal this guard's outfit, and you know, it's making me wonder why I'm wearing someone else's clothes. Like, they probably haven't even washed it. Anyways, the guard comes back, and he thinks that we were covering for him. You know, like we were watching his post. But anyways, we leave, and Archie decides to call out for me. But Archie's like on a wall. How'd you even get up there, girl? Anyways, Archie tells us that we have to go inside and look for a person who sent us a letter. This person will respond to like a passcode or like a phrase. It's a phrase. The sky is looking blue today, or something like that. So we eventually come across the person who responds to us, and they're like, yeah, the sky is blue today. Yeah, come in. And their name is Mahmoud. So Mahmoud is like, hey, so how blue is that sky? I'm like, oh yeah, it's so blue, dude. It's like as blue as that flower. So Mahmoud and I, like, we hide, and we hear these guards talking, and they're also talking in tongues. Like I said, if you don't understand what they're saying, just grab a mirror and look into the mirror. But we eventually find out that these guards are just a little suspicious, because they talk about these plants, and it's kind of weird because these plants don't really have a very big, like, point to the plot. I mean, they don't serve like a very great purpose in the grand scheme of things. They look cool, don't get me wrong. Yeah, but we get captured, you know, trying to impersonate a guard, and so they decided to imprison us, unfortunately. And I'm like, yo, it's not identity theft. I mean, all I did was take someone's clothes. I didn't take their name or their social security number or anything like that. Yeah, but these guards aren't having it. So they lock me up, and they, you know, they're actually pretty advanced. They have, I think it's like eye retina recognition or something. You know, that's pretty high tech for being in a desert, you know. So all we can do while we're in prison is go to sleep, unfortunately. And I mean, there's not much to do. It's a prison cell. Anyways, the guards switch out, and we learn that that guard that just left was the nice one. This one's not so nice. Oh yeah, and her mom decides to call us for some reason. I'm like, Mom, I can't talk. She's like, oh, I just wanted to sing you happy birthday. So, yeah, it's my birthday, and I'm spending it in prison. It's great. It's great. So then, yeah, Dexter also sends us a text, and he tells us that Mom wanted me to send you a message. Yeah, great. I love having a little brother. Perfect. I'm glad I don't actually have one. Yeah, but the guard out there decides to give us a rotten apple for breakfast, and it's kind of sad. I don't think you actually have to eat it, but if you just, like, I mean, it's been a whole day, you know, we've been in prison. So this guard tells the other guard that's switching out, like, oh, hey, the sky is blue today. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, this guard is Mahmoud. So then I go up to Mahmoud, and Mahmoud is like, oh, hey, like, you know, you gotta go and save the town chief, or whatever his name is. Alan, that's his name. So Mahmoud, like, bashes his head into the wall, and he's like, oh, hey, reach into my pocket and take what's in there. And so I do. It's a little suspicious. But eventually we beat the guard captain who's guarding the villager chief, or whatever he is. And the captain chases after me. He's like, you can't go in there. I'm like, watch me. And so I do. And Alan is he's in a bit of a bind, literally. So we release Alan, and Alan's like, oh my gosh, they kidnapped me, or I mean, they tied him up. It's not kidnapping if they're not taken away from where they're familiar. But anyways, we release him, and he tells us that, oh, you know, these bad people are the ones who are impersonating me. They want something. And so we come over here to the pyramids, and that's when Alan is like, oh my gosh, they took my drill. What are we gonna do? I'm like, well, how do they move a drill with no one noticing? I mean, no one questioned it? Really? Anyways, now we have to go into the Pyramid of Sart. So we reach Sart, and Sart is the third Titan that we have to go up against, and it is Sand type. It's actually pretty cool. I really like its design and how we can summon a field from its butt. Yeah, but Sart is really, really cool looking because it has 4 arms, but we use Natsugu, and Natsugu makes really easy work of Sart. I think I used, what is it, Splatter like 2 or 3 times, and we took it out really easily. It's, you know, Natsugu is just a little broken. And I mean that in like a good way, you know, he's like broken strong. But Sart's like, here, take my essence. I say, thanks, bro. And then Sart's like, yeah, you still gotta go beat up all of my other brothers. Yeah, now get out of here. And so I do. And once I get outside, I notice that all of the other researchers are still there, and they actually came, you know, to help me. But now that I beat Sart, they're all going to go and return to the research lab. And that's when Polly is like, oh yeah, come back to campus and take on this challenge that happens every once in a while. And so once everybody leaves, we heal up and then we go back to Luxula's campus to take on the mirror challenge. And we actually beat it, and we got the scan module. I would have shown the fight, but it took a little longer than I would have liked. So once we finish catching up with Mom, Rigel brings us back to the lab, and we see the dark Lumon that ran away when we first encountered it, but they were able to capture it, and now they're studying it. But Rigel gives me his Lux board from when he was a wee lad, as he says. His words, not mine. You know, now I'm thinking, is Rigel Italian? Oh wait, is it Italian or is it Scottish? I think it's Scottish. I don't know my accents. Anyways, we caught a flowish, and we caught a jellyfish. Anyways, we also caught a shimshell, and we named it Toya. So if you haven't figured out what the theme is for all of my Coromon, you just Google it or something. So we arrive in Vlama, and this rock is blocking the entrance to the mine. And, you know, the Titan is in the mine. So Pele, I don't know. She tells us that we have to go find Light Sensei, who's going to teach us how to get rid of that rock. So we do. But as we're going to train with Light Sensei, Minori actually evolves into Jelliquad, Toya evolves into Atlantic, and Akatsuki evolves into Darikara. So I forgot to record all of the trials that we went through to get this module, but Light Sensei is like, oh yeah, here you go. Take it. Use it. And so we do, because we're the avatar. And so we use Tremor, and we're able to go inside the cave now. And I skipped through, you know, just going through all the cave because it's a lot of puzzles, and they're all pretty straightforward if you just pay attention to what you're doing. But we reach the Fire Titan, and his name is it Hosei or is it Ozai? I'm gonna say Hosei because there's an H. Or it could be silent. I don't know. But Hosei actually has a really cool design too. It looks like a bunch of fire tentacles that are just wrapped around itself. It looks cool. It looks cool. Let's just leave it at that. So we send out Natsugu first because, of course, Natsugu is very, very OP. And, you know, we're just going to go ahead and use Splatter. And if you don't know, the rain effect will boost your attack damage by 50% for all water type skills, and fire type skills will be reduced by 50%. But Hosei changes the weather effect to the sunny effect. And when it's sunny, fire type skills will have, I think, like 2 less SP usage, and then oh no, I think it's fire types. Yeah, if you're a fire type. And if you're not a fire type, your skills will have 2 more SP for all of your skill usage. And Hosei's Pure Essence will activate after every turn, which will increase its attack and special attack. And once it reaches 50% HP, it will reduce all of your party members' SP to 0. I think that's a little crazy, but we're crazy for doing this kind of challenge, so I accepted that the moment we started playing. Anyways, Natsugu is putting up a really good fight and dealing really good damage against Hozai. And we get another splatter, and I forget, oh yeah, it is a 3-hit. Okay. So if Natsugu was able to live another turn, I feel like he would have been able to take down Hozai, but unfortunately we go down to Hozai and we send out Nyanta. And I send out Nyanta because I'm really tired of the sunny weather effect, and Nyanta can get rid of that because it also has humidifier, just like Natsugu. Nyanta is not as powerful as Natsugu, but Nyanta does have Crushing Waterfall. It's a skill that requires Nyanta to charge for the first turn, and on the second turn, it releases a very powerful special attack. I think it was a bit of an overkill, but it was the only water type skill I had on Nyanta at the moment. And just like that, we take down Hozai. And Hozai is like, oh hey, you did good. Thanks. You're pretty strong. Now take my essence. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take it. But then Hozai also tells us that the intruders or the invaders, you know, the genies, they are getting very, very close to the core of the planet. And the core of the planet is home to the natural elements that belong to all of the planet, essentially. And if they touch that, you know, bad things are going to happen. We don't know what they're going to do to it, but Hozai tells us to make haste, and we do. So on our way to the next town, we get frozen and we find ourselves in a bed. But, you know, I mean, like, I know where we are, but the character doesn't know. So we're in the town called... Oh my gosh, wait, I forgot what the town is called. Anyways, we come over here, we take the Viking helmet, and then we leave just like that. Yeah, I think the town is called Alavi? A-L-A-V-I? Alavi? Is that how you... Alavi? Alavi? I don't really know how to pronounce that. Anyways, we talk to the people who saved us, and then they tell us that we're getting ready for a festival, and we have to basically go help people around town get ready for the festival. So we help that lady make her really spicy dish. We give this kid a carrot so he can build his snowman, and for some reason he like steps right through me like I'm a ghost. And then we talk to this shopkeeper who wants money to buy a Coromon, which is a little weird, but I mean, we give it to him because we have the money. Or you could just give him the Coromon he's looking for. Anyways, we help those 3 people, and then we can finally start the festival. But the festival gets interrupted by the planet basically like falling apart. Yeah, it's really weird. And then these infected Coromon start invading the town, and so I have to fight them to defend everyone, even though I didn't want to do this in the first place. So we eventually get to the top of the mountain, and my friend, I think his name is Carl, or Jarl, his name is Jarl. He sees Thomas here, and he's like, whoa, who are you? And I'm like, Thomas, it's you. And Thomas is being used by the genies, and he starts fighting me, and I beat him, and then Jarl takes Thomas away. And I make my way into the cave, and we find the, what is it, the 5th Titan, Vorst. And, you know, it's kind of unfortunate because Vorst is looking a little sick. It's infected with something. Anyways, so as long as you don't attack Vorst, he's not going to do anything to you. And I somehow actually get up 6 epiphanies, and I increase my attack and defense by 6 stages, and 1 body blast actually did, like, what is that, 40% of Vorst's health. And Vorst is like, yes, this pain, it gives me life, and even though it takes away my life. And I'm like, yeah, okay, bro, that's cool. Yeah, so 2 body blasts, and Vorst is already down to 20% HP, but Vorst's Pure Essence activates and it freezes your entire party. So unfortunately, I get frozen for the first turn and Vorst uses Ice Flurry, but I managed to live on 14 HP. And I actually thaw out on the next turn and I use Body Blast and I take Vorst out. That was probably the quickest, easiest fight I had against a Titan. And I actually thought this Titan was gonna be a lot harder for me because I forgot to account for the fact that it doesn't move when you don't attack it. It's really funny. But Vorst is telling us that it may be too late for the planet, or it may not be, but he turns into an orb instead of letting us absorb its essence, and he decides to come with us and travel to the center of the planet. But before we can even get there, our mom gives us a call and warns us about being too reckless and naive. And I'm like, Mom, I got this. But my mom is like, shut up and take my money. So I do. And I proceed to fight the Titan in the next scene. So I get to the final Titan, and it looks like they have already gotten to the center of the planet. So all of the Titans that we've beaten so far, they decide to surround me. And we can see that the final Titan, Chalchiyu, has been infected with the dark element that is invading the planet. So if you haven't been paying attention to the storyline, these genies are actually called Wabonians, and these Wabonians have invaded our planet with their dark element. And this dark element is trying to take over the planet. And this dark element has infected the final Titan, who is actually the water Titan, Chalchiyu. But later on, we learned that this Titan's name is Ron. And I say Titan because all of these elements are able to manifest into physical forms, just like, you know, Chalchiyu and Vorst and everybody else that we fought so far. So Chalchiyu appears before us possessed by Ron, and all of the Titans that we've beaten are going to lend us a hand in this fight. Voltgar actually doesn't do very much, unfortunately. Like, it punches Chalchiyu, that's it, but it doesn't do much else. So Nyanta is actually the one that we use first, and Nyanta sets up a poison. And poison will reduce Chalchiyu's HP and SP every turn. So eventually Chalchiyu is going to be using a few turns to restore its SP, so that way we can actually waste a few of its turns. And I know what you're thinking, oh wow, you're just gonna toxic stall? Well, I mean, the poison will only make Chalchiyu lose like a fraction of its HP. I still have to, you know, use a tactic here. And unfortunately, none of my attacks are going to be very effective against a dark element Coromon. And in this case, it's Chalchiyu, the final Titan, who is infected with the dark element. So nothing will affect this, like, monstrosity. But thankfully, we're able to reduce Chalchiyu's defense by 6 stages, which is the maximum. And then we're going to use Cloud Burst to try and reduce its accuracy. Unfortunately, I'm only able to land 1 Cloud Burst before Nyanta is taken down. But I think Nyanta did a great job because we were able to reduce Chalchiyu's accuracy by 1 and its defense by 6 stages. And we were able to poison it. So Toya is actually going to be the MVP of this fight right here. So I'm going to use Withdraw, which is going to boost my defense and my special defense by 2 stages. And then I'll use Smokescreen to increase my evasion by 1 stage. So eventually Toya gets taken down to basically just 1 more hit. And Chalchiyu is already taken down to about 40% HP left. Toya gets taken down here, unfortunately, but we send out Shiro, and Toya did an amazing job. So Shiro comes out, and I decide to use Bubble Blower to see if I can try and lower Chaochiu's speed. I didn't think Chaochiu was going to be faster than the rest of my Coromon, because so far I've only lost 2 Coromon, but I didn't want to risk anything. So eventually, you know, I get tired of using Bubble Blower, and I use, I think it's Head Smash. You know, because we use Bubble Blower 3 times and it doesn't land a single speed reduction against Chaochiu, which is really unfortunate because I could have used that to use Head Crash instead. I said Head Smash. I'm ridiculous. So Head Crash actually does a hefty amount of damage considering Chaochiu's defense reduction. Here Shiro gets taken out and we send out Akatsuki to take out Chaochiu. So since we have 3 Coromon that have fainted, Beat Up actually does 4 hits instead of just 1. And Akatsuki takes out Chaochiu. So if you watch closely here, Chaochiu's name has changed to Ron, and that's how I was able to figure out that the Dark Titan is actually Ron and not Chaochiu. So we thought Chaochiu was dead, but Chaochiu is like, no, I'm here, bruh. I'm here. And everybody celebrates, and we see that the only element down here in the core of the planet was the dark element, but all of the 6 elements come here so that they can bring equilibrium back, oh my gosh, so that they can bring equilibrium back to the planet. I was trying to say planet and back together, so I said black. Oh my gosh, I'm crazy. Yeah, but that's where the game ends. We don't exactly know what happens. We don't know if equilibrium is brought to the planet or what happens to the dark element. Maybe we'll find out when the developers add additional post-game in the DLC in the future. And I hope you all enjoyed this playthrough. I honestly really enjoyed it. There were times, like when I was training in between each Titan, when I really thought to myself, why would I torture myself this way and only use water type Coromon, especially against Chaochiu? You know, I really questioned my choices, and I really had to think, do I actually want to turn this into a series? Like, do I really want to use every other type of Coromon, you know, electric and fire and like sand and all that? And then I thought, probably not. But I mean, if you want to see this and you're willing to watch a whole hour of gameplay like this, I mean, let me know, I guess. But in the meantime, I'm just going to relax a little bit and maybe take a break. But I mean, it's Coromon. I don't think I'm taking much of a break anyways. But I think I'm just going to play Swarmy games for a while. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Oh yeah, I suck at these games, by the way. Like, yeah, wow, I really suck at this. Okay, let's see how. Wow, I can't believe I died there.